Oh, look who it is. Finally back after a month away from the studio. EJ is here with the best polo I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. The fantastic PHNX golf polo.
I've been on vacation and my clothes were dirty. So I figured
That's
it's the only thing I had to put on.
What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you, man? Sometimes, man, I feel like you need a hug or something, man. Jesus. All right. Well, all right.
It's kind of true.
I like the shirt anyway.
I like the shirt, but my clothes were dirty. And I wear it on the golf course. I never wear it in here. I do wear it on the golf course. I go on the golf course. People compliment me on this shirt.
I will say
they truly do.
It has been a hit.
They compliment me, and it's the combination. It's they compliment me because how the shirt,
Go ahead, say
just
it.
fits.
Just, how you make the shirt look. Is that
like
what it
a
is?
machine, baby.
Is that
the shirt's not wearing him. He's wearing the shirt.
Wearing the shirt. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, we did miss you guys, and we do apologize for our lack of a presence in the last month. But we do appreciate Eli, Leo, Rodrigo, all the way from Brazil, chiming in today. So we appreciate the love.
Go to Brazil.
I would love to go to Brazil.
Eli, hook it up, man.
It's not Eli. It's Rodrigo.
Well, Eli, call Rodrigo and hook it up.
There you go. Obviously, EJ's been on vacation. I've been on vacation. We both were at Summer League. We had a lot of things going on. But we're back and we're ready to go. So let's talk about the Summer Suns. Obviously, being down there at Summer League, we got an opportunity to see these guys in person. I got to see Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro, etc. Initially, obviously, you can't put too much stock in the Summer League outside of the fact that you want to see these guys for the first time play in an NBA environment and in the NBA system, and you want to see how they adjust. Overall, let's start with Ryan Dunn. What has been your assessment of Ryan Dunn so far?
Well, he's known as a defensive player. It seems like that's what he's trying to show. Let's just put it where it is. The only way he's going to crack the rotation is to give the Suns something that they really need. And what do they need? They need defenders, right? So not very aggressive offensively, work in progress. We talked about it at the Summer League. You just got to have a strong mindset to be an offensive player. There's a lot of guys with good shooting strokes that still aren't good offensive players. So defense is what his name is made on right now. But in order to be a really good player in this league, you got to be able to play both ways. And so I think the Summer League is a point where you start to take chances, where you try some things. And I would like to see him get more aggressive on the offensive side of the ball and not just really lean just toward defense, because that's what people say he's going to bring. If you're going to be on the floor, though, you got to make a shot.
Yeah.
And so you have to be aggressive. And the Summer League is the perfect place to just work on that.
I don't think he's been aggressive enough, as you pointed out. And I also listen, this is the thing that I have said, and I don't know if you'll agree with it, but you can be the best defensive player you want to be. And situationally, you're always going to find an opportunity to get on the floor if you're that guy. But I think if you're talking about long stints, a guy that's going to play 15, 20, 25, maybe even up to 30 minutes a game, I don't know if Ryan Dunn is going to be able to do that if he's not able to be effective to some degree on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen this movie before with Josh Okogie in the playoffs, specifically when his shot was just not there, and the Nuggets specifically were scheming to basically do whatever they could to get the ball out of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant's hands, and sometimes it found itself to Josh Okogie in the corner, and he wasn't able to connect, and that's why he became kind of a liability on the offensive side. If Ryan Dunn can't be that offensive threat to any degree, that's going to be problematic.
Yeah, and historically, I laugh at people a lot where they always tend to, oh, he's a great defender, and and they used to say this about me. Well, Eddie can't play defense, and I say to them all the time, what do you think is the hardest thing to do in basketball?
Play defense.
You think that's the hardest?
I think so.
No, it's the easiest.
You think so?
Because it's effort. Now, a lot of it is smarts too, but you learn to be smart. It's effort. The hardest thing to do in basketball is put that orange ball in the basket. It's the hardest thing to do. And
maybe it's because I wasn't as athletic as you. Defense was really hard for me.
No. It's the hardest thing to do, man. It truly is. And that's why you see guys shy away from it. That's why you see them shy away from it. We're talking about Dunn right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Because it's hard. When you're not able to put that ball in the basket, you tend to what? Be tentative. And then you put all your aggressiveness into what? Defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I just laugh at people when they do that and they say that. Like, I played 17 years. Well, Eddie can't play defense. I played 17 damn years. When I retired at 40, I had teams still trying to get me to come back and play at 40.
That's crazy.
Why? It wasn't for my damn defense.
No, it's because you're scoring.
Because I can put that ball in the hole.
Or maybe it's because of those Chinese.
You last a long time. If you look at players that have lasted a long time in the NBA, they put the ball in the hole. Criticize them all you want, talk smack all you want. You look at it historically, that's where it is. And guys understand that and they shy away from it. And you can't. You cannot, man. You got to learn how to score the ball. It keeps you on the floor at all times. And that's important. Dan Marley came into the league and, he's a defender. But Dan Marley realized right away that he's going to have to score the ball too.
Mm-hmm.
And he learned to score the ball. And a lot of defensive players have done that over the history of this game. So, yeah, okay, Dunn is a very good defender, but to play on a basketball team consistently, you have to be able to put the ball in the hole. Only a few guys have been able to persevere and not being ultra aggressive. Dennis Rodman's one of them. Even though Dennis Rodman early in his career wasn't shy about shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But he got away with it. Why? He did two things.
Yeah. At a
he defended
and rebounded.
And he's probably the greatest pound-for-pound rebounder in the history of the game. That's why he was able to survive. So, I tell these young guys, man, stop it. Larry Bird had a story. I think I've said it on the show before, is that he was talking at a camp. Guy was at the other end sweeping the gym. And he said, hey, that's a good friend of mine down there. He was a great defender.
No.
Yeah, he did.
No.
True story.
You haven't told me that story.
True story.
Oh, no.
Did you all get what I meant?
Oh, wow.
The guy was sweeping the gym at the other end while he was talking at a camp. He said that was a great defender. Put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
Parents out there, teach your kids how to freaking score. Don't buy into that, oh, he can defend. Teach them how to score first. It's the hardest thing to do.
Wow. Okay. I did not expect that story to come out of your mouth. That's kind of a crazy story right there. I agree to a degree for sure. Not even to a degree. I just agree. I think you're right on point about that. Like, he's got to figure out a way to score. Now, I'm not panicking right now. It's far too early. He's just beginning his career. There's still plenty of development still left. He hasn't even gotten a chance to play with, the actual team that he's going to be able to play with and the superstars he's going to play with. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of heavy influence there. So that'll be nice to see as they go along. But unfortunately for him, he's not going to get that opportunity for at least another month, because those guys are heading overseas to go play in the Olympics, and which is a tremendous opportunity for them. Outside of Ryan Dunn, who has been the one player that you feel like has stood out the most to you?
Roddy's been the most aggressive, and it's a good sight to see. I've always liked the kid. I liked him in Memphis. He had good games against the Suns when he was at Memphis. He's very physical. And it seems like he's really worked on his offensive game. And
yesterday, he needed yesterday.
Yeah.
That was big.
Yeah, but just the aggressiveness part. Like, I'm not even looking at his point production because his shots will be a little bit more open when he's on the court with the big three. So it's a different animal. It's the aggressive part, man. Like, Saul, you played the game, man. Look, it's hard to win your teammates over with you shooting the ball. Like, it's hard to do that, man. It's a process. And I like the fact he's won this group over in the summer league and that he's taking shots. Like, you just don't take that. You have to earn it. I don't care how many years you're into the league. He's a veteran. None of that matters. Trust me. When I first got in the league, man, I go in open gym. We didn't have summer league, but I go in open gym or I go to the Chicago Summer League, and I'm playing with guys that's been in the league 4 or 5 years, and I'm like in my first and second year, and you would think I would shy away. Went for it. Hey, man, pass the ball. I didn't see you. What? I didn't see you, man. My bad. Please, man. Man. You got to win them over. Then after a couple of games, they get to the point where, okay, and they start passing you the ball more. Yeah. It's crazy, man. And you got to push your teammates to understand that. I think Roddy's doing that right now. Had a good game, obviously, last night. He's got to keep being effective because he could wind up being that defensive guy that they put out there.
Oso Ighodaro is, I think he's been my favorite to watch. And listen, in the context of not being negative too much on this show, like I don't want to do that because I don't feel like it's necessary whatsoever. Like there's things that we're going to critique about these guys, and that's just all it is, right? So it's in the sport of, hoping that they can develop and contribute to this team at a high level. But with Oso, I think he does everything very, very well, except for the life of me, and EJ, I'm sure you've come across guys like this before at some point, but I cannot understand how you can be playing basketball basically your entire life and somehow find a way to get to the NBA despite the fact that you don't have a jump shot whatsoever. I don't even understand that. Like everything for him is either the floater or like a baby hook. But I have never seen him, and I didn't see him during warmups at all take a jump shot at all. And I'm wondering how does somebody get to that level and not even have that ability?
Because you shot the ball, right? You learned early on.
But don't we all just throw the ball at the rim?
Everybody does it. That's the problem. We live in this. It was a stretch. It's getting better now. It's getting better, but it was a stretch, man. What, 10, 15 years ago, where you had these dudes teaching these kids. The first thing they were teaching these kids were dribbling, not just basic dribbling, fancy dribbling. And then the next thing was pretty moves. Yeah. It's almost like these coaches were taking them, like somebody put you in school for the first time and kindergarten wasn't your ticket. They put you in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in the classroom and you're like, what's that? Right? And then you shy away. Like, no, they don't start with the basics, man. The first thing that parents should, if they want to pick up basketball and play, the first thing their parents should get them with is somebody that knows mechanics, how to shoot the ball. That is the very first thing they need to work on. Nothing else.
That's it.
The very first thing. They could be at home just shooting on a Nerf hoop. The first thing is mechanics in shooting. And they went through a stretch where they didn't. The fancy moves, the runners, and all the other stuff that is built off of the jump shot. Mm-hmm. They were teaching them stuff ahead of the jump shot. And you see the result. He's not the only one.
No.
There's a lot of guys that mechanically cannot shoot the freaking basketball.
So there's a couple things that, I've been thinking about to help Oso. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There was this fundamental drill that I used to teach kids in camps back in the day, Sporting Chance Youth League down in Tucson, shout out, where Coach Sammy Dwayne at Corona was the first person to kind of teach me this kind of stuff, where basically you would get into, your shoulder width apart stance, right foot slightly in front of the other, because that's how, good shooters do. And then you just stand out, have your hand straight out, and then you just, and they would just say seam it, and then cock it, guide hand, bend my knees, and then shoot and fall through. And the whole idea was to shoot and then come down on you had your right foot on the line, and that ball should come down straight on the line. And that's just good technique and form. And I feel like to some degree at an elementary level, he should start to do something like that, where when you warm up in the gym, you first get in, you start at the basket and just get your form right, and you follow through, and you start to back up a little bit more and more and more, and just get into a nice rhythm, and then boom. And I look at it.
Give me that ball.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
You don't ever bring a basketball near me and don't let me touch it.
My bad.
I'm like, that's like drugs.
That's my fault.
I'm over here shaking, right? I was like, oh, you ain't see my knees? I was over here like, give me this. I used to sleep with a basketball first.
Yeah.
Man, when I first started learning,
it was everything. It was everything.
Oh, man. No, you're right. Look, it's different ways to get to the result of where you're trying to get them to, right? So it's all kind of drills to get them to that point, right? Because it's all psychological, right? But the one thing they have to understand is, look, these seams on the ball, right? They're there, right there, right? You would like to maybe not have them there if you're not a shooter, but no, you want them there. Because these things really help you, because it's an indentation on here where your fingers can relax into the grooves, okay? And if you watch great shooters, when somebody passes them the ball, like the ball can come to me like this.
Yep, you'll find a way to get to the
right?
seam.
Without even looking.
Yep.
Boom. I turn it. In motion, like I turn it. And the only reason I can get away with it is because I was already set up with everything else. So that's all I had to do, right? So once I got there, and Saul was right, but what else a lot of kids do wrong, and everybody is different. Like everybody's body is made different. My body changed over the years. As I was lifting weights, I got stronger. I used to have if you watch some of my high school pictures, my shot right here, my elbow in L shape was perfection. As I started lifting, I got bigger, it changed somewhat. And so my arm was kind of more out a little bit than what I used to be. But always, right, if you see this, like most kids they'll go up to shoot, and they don't realize that they're getting blocked even before they shoot.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen, if you see my left arm, right, if I close my right eye, I can't even see the rim, because this arm is blocking my left eye. So it's a window. And parents don't teach kids, like, look through the window. Can you see it with both eyes? So now if somebody comes to try to block your shot, they can maybe block one eye, but you got the other eye. But if you're here and they bring their hand here, you don't even see the rim. And you'll see a lot of guys, what they do, because they can't see it, they'll pass it. They'll jump and they'll turn it over and pass it. It's fundamentals, okay? And look, I'm not even trying to, my video has been on the market for over 25 years. It does very well. It still sells, okay? It's Eddie Johnson's Jump Shot and Offensive Skills video. It's 90 minutes. You can get it on Amazon. It costs like $8 now on DVD. That's it. So you can go get it. And I'm telling you, I'll put my shooting video up against anybody. Anyone. And kids should watch it. And if kids have watched it notoriously, I still get text messages. I still get, emails and DMs about the video. Just go watch it. I watch Pete Maravich's videos, man.
Yeah.
Learn just parents. You don't need to hire some dude.
Yeah.
You don't. Just go pick up videos, look at them, and go on the court with your kid and teach them.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, just the basic stuff.
I used to watch a video. It was actually a Converse video, but it was like an instructional video about, when you get the ball and you're in a 3-point stance, and then there's like 4 or 5 different moves that you can make just straight out of that, the jab step fake, the jab step fake crossover, the jab step pull up, like
not
just
step backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
right.
Who taught these kids this?
It's always forward momentum, like always. And
You're stepping out of bounds. You
Yeah.
got professional athletes. I say it on the telecast all the time. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing how many NBA players step backwards. What advantage is it for you to step backwards?
Yeah.
Stepping forward makes the defense react. Step backwards makes the defense aggressive. I mean, it's just a simple fact.
Yeah. But outside of that, I thought Oso's been my favorite to watch so far because he's got a nice game. Like, he can handle the ball. He's athletic. He's strong. He's bigger than I thought he was. He can jump really high. Like, I've liked what I've seen out of him. And down low in the post, he has been effective enough to be a threat, which for this team, I think he can survive like that without the jumper. I do believe that. So,
rebound.
Yeah.
Rebound, run the floor, defend. Set great screens, get to the rim for alley-oops, all that, yes.
Yeah.
But eventually, you got to learn how to knock down a shot.
Yeah.
Like,
even if it's just a midi.
Yeah, you're a professional now. Look, when Mari Stoudemire first came to the Suns, he was a line drive shooter, but here's the difference. He kept shooting it. Like, he didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that mentality, man. That's the psychological mentality, is you can't care or worry about somebody's feelings when you go up to shoot. Just can't. If you worry about it, then you'll never be a good shooter.
Yeah.
You just won't. Nick Claxton, who I really like, right? For Brooklyn. I think he's still in Brooklyn. I think they re-signed him, right? This kid, I mean, he's aggressive. He's not a good shooter, but he doesn't shy away. And that's how you have to get the kid to be. And so hopefully he continues to grow. And he's going to grow more too. He's going to get bigger. And I like a lot of things about him as well. But yeah, man, you got to know how to score that ball when you get the opportunity.
Yeah. Overall, I think the guys that you're looking at and you're wanting to see them perform at a high level, and you're kind of trying to conceptualize how they can fit into the grand scheme of things. I think obviously Ryan Dunn and Oso, they're going to find their spots. They're going to find their way onto this roster, obviously. And I do think that they both have an opportunity to play. How much they will play, I don't know. Still a lot to be determined with the way the roster is shaken out. Listen, we haven't had a show for a while, so we should probably talk about, how everything is shaked out for the Suns and the pieces they've been able to add overall. I think that they've gotten consistently, they've found some consistency in the players that they've acquired, but I don't know if they're necessarily dramatically better than they were a year ago. I think the level of their improvement is going to be solely on the chemistry between the big three and what Coach Bud is going to provide for this team. Now, when you think about Coach Bud and what you know about Coach Bud, what are we feeling about his contribution to this team and how it could be different than Frank Vogel?
I think they'll be better if they're healthy. Won 49 games. They finished 16 games over 500. And yet they miss a ton of games with the big three combined. They'll be better just based on improvement, just based on familiarity with one another. The disappointment of getting swept, the focus that they're having right now doing this offseason. They'll be better. But it's all predicated again on the big three's health. It's predicated on, guys have gotten better over the summer, worked on their game. Nurkic, let's just face it. Everybody, look, it ain't nothing wrong with you. It's something wrong with you. It's no perfection, okay? So if I say a negative about somebody and they take it the wrong way, I'll just tell them to go kick damn rocks, because there's no perfect basketball player, okay? But you can improve on everything. And the one thing Nurkic has to improve on, he's got to improve on finishing at the rim.
It has to.
I mean, that's the one. Do that night. I would tell Nurkic to just do that damn
Mike
and drill constantly all summer.
Yes.
Because what he does, he takes his eye off the target when he's going at the rim and laying it up. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that Mike and drill teaches you to keep your eye. Keep your eye. Ball in hand to target, right? And so he doesn't do that. He jumps and he's looking at the guy and he's throwing the ball up. That's basically what he does. And so he has to improve. Everybody has to improve. And all of a sudden, that 8 games that they finished, think about it, people. 8 games, I believe, that they finished behind the Oklahoma City Thunder with the best record in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And between the big three, they missed over 30, 40 games combined?
Yeah.
Just think about that now. So it's not as bad as you think. And I think the improvement has to come from everybody. Everybody. And I think they have the ability to do it.
You feel better with, let's say, Monte Morris and Plumlee versus Gordon and Eubanks?
Yeah, I love it. You know, Eric Gordon is one of my favorites. But I like
better suited.
Right. Yeah, I like the acquisitions. I like the Plumlee acquisition without a doubt.
Yes.
Because Eubanks played with effort. He can block shots. Plumlee defends the rim as well. He can run. And the other thing he can do, he can bring the ball up. Like on loose situations, long rebounds, turnover. He has the ability to push the ball up and not try to be creative, but getting the ball up quickly, making the right decision, and then passing it to somebody and going and screening them right away. Nurkic brings it up, but Nurkic brings it up slow.
Mm-hmm.
This dude pushes the ball up. I've always loved his energy. And I think that's what the Suns need around the big three is guys that's going to do some dirty work for them so they can go do what they're paid to do, and that's be killers offensively.
Yeah.
I don't need them trying to do everything. Okay? It's just not, no. Score first, everything else falls in place. So, and then Monte Morris, look, he's a guy that was getting a ton of minutes in Denver early in his career. He was proving that he could play in this league, and now he's really sunk into a role player, which is fine. And I think he understands his role, and I think he's excited to be here. And so he sees what the Suns need, and I'm sure that's going to be his focus, is to make sure when he does come into the game, or if he even starts, who knows, that he is going to be a guy that if he takes care of the ball, pushes the ball up, he's given the Suns what they did not have last year. He sat over there on that bench, and he saw the Suns get swept. He saw what the Suns needed. So people don't think that this is an accident. Like, he actually looked and saw, and he's like, man, I can play a role here. And now this decision to come here was very easy for him. So, I like both of the guys, and I think they will help.
Do you think, do you think guys that come in like Monte that don't turn the ball over? I don't know. From my experience, usually, like, and even with like Chris Paul, right? Like, I just don't think that those are the types of individuals to kind of sit back and just be quiet when they see everybody else turn the ball over. Typically, the guys, because they take care of the ball so well, it's almost like a pet peeve of theirs to see somebody else be careless with the rock. Do you think Monte Morris and his inability to turn the ball over will have a dramatic effect on this team because they were real careless with the ball last year?
I think he will, but Bud will too.
Mm-hmm.
He watched the games. He had the whole year off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was watching the games. He knows. It's pretty obvious that our big three tried to do too much with the ball. And then teams would double team them. KD brings the ball up, they trapped him. Devin brought it up, they trapped him. They didn't care.
Yeah.
They're like, you're doing us a favor. You're bringing the ball up, And guess what? We're going to trap you. We're going to make you get rid of the ball. Now it's going to be hard for you to get the ball back because the shot clock's running down. Like, it was just those types of situations, man, that I was flustered with in calling the games and watching it, is that I just thought a lot of the times the Suns were playing right into the opposition's hands.
Yeah.
And me talking to teams around the league, and a lot of coaches in this league are friends of mine, just talking to them, it was like, yeah, no, come on, bring it up. And so, but in, KD's mind, Devin's mind, Brad's mind, like, well, I can do both. And at times they can do both, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the issue last year. And I'm sure Bud watched that, and I'm sure he's going to get a handle on it and make sure that that doesn't happen.
I am excited for that. Before we do move on, we do have a super chat from Psycho Blue. It does say, remember when we had to get VHSs from Blockbuster or the library to watch Pistol Pete footage? Now these rookies can go on the YouTube and look up anybody for research purposes or just admire their stroke. 1,000,000%. And, I don't even know what I would do in today's age if I was a teenager coming up through high school and having all the, the resources that are available, literally at your fingertips. It's tremendous. Anyway, it was so funny. I do want to give one shout out real quick.
Go ahead.
You were talking about how, in the gym when you would play, you didn't really care what everybody thought. You just kept shooting because you were trying to work on your stuff. I want to give out a shout out to my former shooting guard, Robert Davis, because that's exactly how I felt. I just felt like you were never going to pass the ball. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But I love you. So there you go.
Could you imagine he's just watching this show?
I just randomly,
and he's just like, what the hell,
I just kept
man?
it straight.
Well, it's true. No, it's true. You did the right thing. Like, when I first started shooting, I used to, all of us, right? We used to shoot the ball from where? The hip.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we weren't what?
Strong.
Wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
And so I started watching videos as I got older, because what happens when you were shooting the ball from the hip, what happened?
Shit would get blocked after a little while.
Exactly. And so I started watching video, and I started seeing pros, like how they get the ball up quick and they get it up, and then the shot was all in their legs.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't them throwing it. You get these kids where they're throwing the ball, and daddy, and even mommy, oh, I want to see him make a 3-pointer. I'm like, look, it's the wrong thing to do. Like, it truly is, because they're throwing the ball. They're not shooting. They're throwing the ball. And if a kid is throwing the ball, he's out of range. So you put him in his range where mechanically he can get the ball to the rim. So it could be 4 feet, 5 feet. And you don't let him go back until he gets stronger, and then he makes 8 out of 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Then you let him take another step back. It's just those little things, man, that parents, and I look, that's free advice, okay? Normally I charge for it. But it's just, shooting is so easy, man. It's hard, but it's easy if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just get so disturbed when I see kids shoot, and mechanically they're just off center, man. And
do you ever, we were just talking about this at Summer League. I was talking to Flex, and I said, sometimes, maybe if I'm a little stressed out, provided the temperature is nice outside, sometimes I'm just a little stressed out, and I just want to, have a little bit of self-therapy. I would just go down to the court by my house, and I'll just shoot free throws, or just do some jump shots or whatever, just because it's just therapeutic. There's something about shooting a basketball and the feel of it that is therapeutic to some degree. Do you still do that?
I don't shoot the ball. Like, I spoke at the Suns camp 3 weeks ago, and kids in the camp, first of all, they want you to dunk the ball. I'm like, please, I'm not dunking nothing. But I shot for them, and I told them right before I shot, I said, look, I honestly have not shot. I've only shot the ball one time in the last 2 years. That's it. I went up in my gym. It was at the place I work out at, and the gym was empty. And I saw a ball in there. I'm like, let me shoot. And I just started shooting that particular day. But about 3 months went by, and I didn't do it again. So one time in 3 years. So I started shooting and didn't miss nothing. Like, it never leaves you.
Mhm.
I can't play basketball anymore. I can't. I can run, but I won't run because I'm not hurting myself. I can go out there in the local gyms and I can still play, but I won't do this. I'm done. I'm retired. I don't need it. I just observe it, but I can shoot it.
Mhm.
Anybody want to shoot with me, please? I will go in the gym today, and I would not be intimidated to shoot against anybody in the NBA, including Steph, any of them. If it's just a ball and we're moving around the court and shooting, I would bet. I would bet. I would not run away. Now, I'm telling you, I wouldn't. So, I mean, that's how confident I am that mechanically I can still shoot the ball. And that's just it.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we transition over to our next topic, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, obviously with Team USA. I've been really impressed with Devin Booker in this 3-game stint. I just think he has been, to me, he's been their most trustworthy player. Yeah, I think on both ends of the court, he's been very, very solid. He's making the right play. Obviously, he's a tremendous shooter, scorer. But I've just, not that I've seen a different Devin Booker, because we've seen a lot of that here. It's just it is a little bit different because of the talent that surrounds him, and it's easier to make the right play when you know you can trust the other 4 guys on the court because they're high level players. And I just it's been really fun to watch him this offseason.
I just think Devin respects the game.
He's
and
an
I think he
amazing player,
respects players that he admires.
Mhm.
You know, because in a sense, you know, these guys are guys that got to the league before him. And I think he shows respect for guys. He's not one of these guys that walks in the gym and says, "Okay, yeah, I make just as much money. I scored 70 in the game. I'm better." You know, he doesn't do that, man. I think, and you know, you can tell how he obviously embraced Kevin Durant. Like, you know, go back a couple of years, Ricky Rubio. I mean, like, he's allowed guys to teach him, like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Like, he has a healthy respect for basketball. And you can credit his dad, Melvin, for that, man, and just raising him to understand that part of it. And so I'm not shocked by how Devin is playing
Yeah.
at all. I'm not. I
Mhm.
think he plays the game with a healthy respect, man. Like the retirement ceremonies, you know, I'm not calling out players for not being out there. He's always out there.
Yeah. No, he has tremendous respect for
Devin
the
is
game.
always out there. Like, for every jersey that's gone up or retired or whatever, since he's been a Son, he's always out there watching.
Even for Al, too.
Yeah.
He was
that's
always out there for
healthy
Al.
respect of the game of basketball. And that's what I love about him, man. I truly do. Man, I'll watch him. Well, I've been obviously knowing him since he's a teenager, just being here, but just observing him and just watching him. And he goes through his moments, as we all do. And I think he had one of the moments during the course of the playoffs where I don't think he was himself.
Mhm.
But that's okay. I think most part, he has a healthy, tremendous respect for the game of basketball and the players that play it. And I appreciate that.
You mentioned Melvin. Shout out to Melvin. He was the Big 8 Player of the Year. Got to the Elite 8 in 1994. Played for Norm Stewart. They had a tremendous team at Missouri, but they did run into the buzzsaw called the Arizona Wildcats, who ended up going to the Final Four that year.
It's like the Arizona Wildcats ran into that buzzsaw of the University of Illinois when y'all had a big lead and we walked y'all down, sent y'all home.
Why you always got to bring up old shit? All right. Shut up, Eric. I don't want to hear it. Eddie's trying really hard not to be a part of my inner circle, but you can always be part of my inner circle by going to Circle K. Download the Inner Circle app. Become part of the Inner Circle family right now. Save yourself a ton of money at the pump. Your first 5 fill-ups are at 25 cents off per gallon. And then after that, you save 3 cents a gallon. After, I don't know what the criteria is, but after so many times at the pump, then it increases to 5 cents off per gallon. And they're always using specials, like for instance on the screen right now, 79 cents for a Polar Pop. But you can also get it for 69 cents if you're in the Inner Circle. Plus, you get 5 free drinks when you first sign up. So, I mean, it's a win-win all the way around.
That is a win-win. What's a gas pump?
What?
What's a gas pump?
Oh, come on, you electric using guy. Come on now. He drives a Tesla. Oh.
I thought it was more he just has people pump his gas for him,
right?
take his car to the gas station for him. I don't want to touch that thing.
I'm not that kind of guy.
For the rest of
I would not do that. I'd pump somebody's gas before I would have them pump my gas into a car. I'm not that kind.
For the rest of us normies, download the Inner Circle app today. Terms and conditions do apply. But that app is fantastic, so check them out. Circle K, always doing us right, and so just want to give them a shout out. All right, this is we kind of changed it up today. We had basically just 2 topics we want to talk about: the Suns, and now we want to talk about the thing that just dropped officially all together today. The ESPN Top 100 list came out, and to say that it completely missed the mark is not doing it justice. So I will just have one of their own employees do it for me.
Dan Orlovsky, who's been on ESPN all morning having the same exact conversation for the past 3 shows, will join us in 6 minutes, and we'll probably just cook him and ESPN as a whole for a lot of the shit they've been putting out from ESPN's people. Now, there is a top 100 list that is coming out from ESPN people, and I'll tell you what, it is the epitome of everything that everybody hates about ESPN. Mm-hmm. What they chose to do in ranking the top 100 athletes of like 21st century, they only gave us like 50 to 100 yesterday. What a shit show. Mm-hmm. What an absolutely terrible list, and we'll blame Dan Orlovsky for that. So he'll be joining us in about 6 minutes. We can't wait for that.
Yeah. So, it was terrible. It was awful. And here, in terms of Arizona-related athletes on the list, the first Arizona-related athlete is Diana Taurasi at number 21, Kevin Durant at 39, Steve Nash at 51, J.J. Watt at 58. Okay. Now, some of the things that were just a complete miss. Now, again, this is not all time. This is just since the year 2000. The top 100 since the year 2000. Number 1, Randy Johnson, not even on the list, even though he won 3 Cy Youngs and led the Diamondbacks to a World Series championship and quite possibly one of the most dominant years of all time. Like, I don't even understand that. I had a perfect game during that stretch too.
World Series co-MVP.
Like, what are we doing here, right? Like, not even on the list. Also not on the list, and probably more egregious because of who else is on the list, Larry Fitzgerald, not even on the list. The number 2 wide receiver of all time receiving yards, has the most touchdown receptions in a playoff run ever, has the most receiving yards in a playoff run ever, and has the most 150-yard games in the playoffs ever. Like, what are we doing here? Calvin Johnson at number 57. Calvin Johnson at number 57 over Larry Fitzgerald, not even on the list.
That's correct.
What are we doing here? That is incredibly bad. Kevin Garnett at number 23. What? Like, I love KG, but KG at number 23 is just crazy to me. That's so high for a Kevin Garnett who only won 1 title, multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. Cool, but what? That just blows me away.
That much higher than Durant too. Where Durant's like 39.
Yeah.
And I love KG. He's probably the second best power forward of all time.
But he's not Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have let's see what else. Oh yeah. Kawhi Leonard's at number 85. And I like Kawhi. I think he's really, really good, but I don't think he's one of the top 100 because he's never healthy. Let's just say he's had 4 or 5 healthy seasons. That's about it. Outside of that, meh.
They looked at the titles. They looked at the titles, and I could break them titles up. The first couple of titles, he got them on a team that had 3 Hall of Famers, and they pretty much carried him. Yeah, he broke away because he was getting single coverage, and he had, he got his Finals MVP. But the bottom line is that, he went to Toronto and he joined a 50-plus win team, and he helped them get over the hump. But LeBron had left. If LeBron was still in the East, they might not have gotten out. So it's like Kawhi was like very fortunate and he got those titles, but in terms of workload, he hasn't lived up to it. No. And I've continued to say that, man. You can't be playing 50 games and 51 games every year and be measured that high. That's a problem.
Michael Phelps is number one, but Michael Phelps, I don't know why people think that Michael Phelps is an Arizona athlete. He's not. He coached at ASU. That's it. That's his only relation to the state of Arizona. Outside of that, he's not an Arizona athlete. He swam somewhere else.
He lives in Arizona.
He lives in Arizona. That's fine, but he never did anything
like
here in Arizona.
Post-swimming career.
Yeah, that was post-swimming career. So yeah, no, he's not really an Arizona athlete to me. Also,
he's number one.
JJ Watt, yeah, he's number one. Serena Williams was number two. And then JJ Watt is at number 58. JJ Watt, I'll give you, he could be on the list. That's cool. But Aaron Rodgers at 91.
Oh, stop.
Like, I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he's kind of nuts, but he's good. He's a good football player. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a 4-time MVP. He's been to the Pro Bowl 10 times. He's been all NFL four times. Like, what are we doing again?
Yeah.
I think he has the highest touchdown to interception ratio of the 21st century.
He is like, he might not have won at the high level, like of Tom Brady and all that. But if Aaron Rodgers, I think, had the kind of teams that Brady did, I think he would have won just as many. I do.
It's crazy.
I just think, no, Aaron Rodgers, I think he's a little strange bird, but I don't like some of the things that he says. But from a quarterback standpoint, no, he's the real deal. And me being a Bear fan, trust me, I caught the brunt of that.
I'm sure you have. Roy Halladay at 88. Again, Randy Johnson not even on the list. Roy Halladay at 88. Again, this whole list was just so crazy to me. Tiger Woods at number 8 overall. Like, what? Tiger Woods at number 8.
Stop.
What are we doing with this list right now, people?
I mean, I love Serena, okay, Michael Phelps, and he's over Tiger.
Wow.
You really understand how dominant Tiger was? All you got to do is look at when Jordan Spieth, Justin, what's his name? Justin Thomas, McIlroy. You remember when they first came on the golf scene, when Tiger went through his stuff, and they were like, oh, yeah, they're the next Tiger. They're not even the next T. I cut the name short. Tiger, they don't even get to past the letter T. Like, what Tiger has done, winning the amount of tournaments he's won, it's ridiculous. And the only thing that stopped him is him himself by doing such things because he's bored of kicking everybody's butt for years. He's jumping out of planes and training with the SEALs, and he just tore his knee up.
Yeah.
You know, and then had the car accident. So stop.
There's a couple people asking, Pat Tillman on the list? No, Pat Tillman was not on the list because it was basically, I think, just achievement related in sports, not, off the field stuff either. And then Messi was on the list as well. He was top 5. And then Nacho, stay on topic. Okay. KG having one title and Aaron Rodgers having one title is not what I'm talking about. KG being at number 23 with one title is what I'm talking about.
Aaron Rodgers,
but
Aaron Rodgers should be higher than KG.
It should be. He should be.
I mean, with the amount of MVPs, if KG had 4 MVPs,
yeah, I
it'd
love
be
me some
different.
KG, but you got to remember, KG couldn't win in Minnesota. He only won, 1 or 2 years? So Aaron Rodgers pretty much carried Green Bay.
Yeah.
You give him a receiver, you don't even know his damn name, and Aaron Rodgers made him a star. No,
that's
stop.
true. That's true.
But Saul, you got to understand something. Man, first of all, they started the year 2000. And a lot of the reasons why they do that, because they're too damn lazy to go back and learn history. That's it. They only want to judge it on when they were around. They don't want to pick up a history book. And this is our whole society right now. I'm not trying to get too political here, but we got lazy people in this country where they want to take history books out of school instead of having them in school so people can read them and understand the history of our country. And this goes to sport. You got these people at ESPN, they got these young kids that they hire, and they're youngsters. They're too damn lazy to go back and find out the history of athletes before 2000. That's just my point, man. It's just, we got a lazy mentality, man, when it comes to stuff like this. And that's why I just laugh when I see it. I used to do a top list. I did it for Hoops Hype for like 8 years. It's not fun. Like, you can't win. I know it.
Oh,
I used to do
no.
a top 50 NBA list. Okay? And you can go back and find it. It's all over, the internet, all the years that I did it. And they went at me. So I understand how difficult it is, but I at least did my research, man.
Yeah.
And I believe what I was saying. These guys, they just, let's put KG here. I just don't believe that they do their research to the level they should.
Well, it's funny that you say that because we have our own top 25 list that just came out. And obviously there's people that disagree with a lot of things. And hey, listen, in the spirit of unbiased commentary, and this is something I never ever thought I would say, we have our own top 25 list, and they have Devin Booker and the 70-point game above the 19-0 ASU over Nebraska game, which I think is just a big no. Like, also, like, I was talking to my buddy Doug Tamaro, and he was just like, I don't know, if we're going to put Devin Booker's 70-point game there, why wouldn't we put Eddie House's 61 in there as well? Because I will say this, Eddie's 61 on the road at Cal in a 40-minute game is a little bit more impressive than 70 points. Both crazy good, don't get me wrong. But that Nebraska game, and living in Tempe at the time and going to school and hearing about it, because I didn't even watch the game at that time because I was like, there's no way they're going to beat Nebraska, back-to-back national champions. There's no chance. And then they just absolutely dog walk them. That changed the whole tenor of the whole season, all the way to the point where they almost won a national championship that year. Had they beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, Florida beat Florida State that night, and ASU would have been the national champions. Crazy. So I was a little, and that's coming from a U of A guy.
Yeah, that was a sight for sore eyes. Yeah,
Okay, let me get somebody straight. Somebody said my video is not on Amazon. This is Amazon. My video is there. Eddie Johnson jump shot and offensive skills video. Okay, so it is on there. All right, so maybe it's something wrong with your computer.
I will say, Eddie, I went and I looked as well. It's listed on there, but it says currently unavailable, out of
Really?
stock. I think that's just in too high of a demand.
Oh no,
it's out of stock.
Sold out.
Oh, okay.
Get your people on that.
No,
right.
I'm done. I got to make another one.
Before we get out of here, EJ, you brought up something about a gentleman by the name of Lenny Cooks, yeah?
Yeah. I had something to say with something you said, though, about Arizona. Oh, the Eddie House game.
Yeah.
Who you think called that game?
Did you call a game?
Yes.
Oh, you did? I did not know that.
Give me my respect.
That's probably why he put up 61. He knew Eddie was in the building.
I know. That was impressive, yeah?
I called it. It was one of the best scoring, shooting exhibitions I've ever seen.
He was phenomenal. Didn't miss.
Yeah. So if you go back and find it, that was me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, ironically enough, as we're talking about this, when I saw you on Saturday and we're talking, Eddie House shows up and says, "What's up to Eddie?" and then pieces out.
Yeah, I trained him. I used to train him before he got to the league.
That's dope.
I made him throw up first time I trained. True story. He told me, he said, I get up about 1,000 shots. I said, okay, Eddie. I said, I tell you what, I'll work you out, and you won't take no more than 150 shots, and I guarantee you'll crawl out of the gym. He looked at me like, okay, let's do it. He crawled his ass out of the gym. Come on, man. You don't need to take no 1,000 shots. But yeah, this guy, Lenny Cook, I've never heard of the guy until, it started bringing it up with LeBron. Because, I don't follow high school that much when I got away from it. And he was known as one of the top high school players with LeBron. At one point, I think he was rated higher than LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I peruse through Twitter every now and then, in between my golf rounds, and I run across this video of Lenny Cook having a comment about LeBron.
In like today's game, is there like a specific player that reminds you of you?
Yeah, LeBron James. Yeah, for sure.
So y'all are like similar, because I know you were a big like point guard.
Yeah, he just took it to another level. Yeah. That's all.
Do you think like he got, I mean, LeBron was LeBron,
yeah,
obviously
sure.
when he was in high school, but like, do you feel like he maybe took anything from your game at all?
Absolutely, everybody does. But you know what I mean. One thing that you can't teach is heart. You know what I'm saying? And I always been a dog. I just feel like he's not a dog. He don't want the ball at the end of the game. Like, you know what I mean? He don't want to be judged for making the wrong play. I don't care about making the wrong play.
What makes you say that?
I mean, I just watching him in the finals.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So big decisions he turned down, So it's just, I mean, I just feel like he don't want to be judged. And who cares, bro? You're LeBron.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Whether you make it or miss that shot.
Yeah, because Kobe taking them all.
Kobe taking it, and Lenny is too.
Here's the part, though.
Wow.
Now,
that's the first time I heard that.
This is what I talk about, like,
he doesn't want to be
understanding your
judged.
history. Understanding
We're
your
talking
history.
about the most judged athlete of all time in LeBron James.
You're talking about understanding your history, right? Like, Lenny. I mean, he's not a dog. Well, what happened to you, dude? You didn't play one damn minute in the NBA.
Oof.
All your minutes were overseas. Like, you didn't have so you're not a dog. You weren't tough enough to make it. Just think about that. He's sitting up saying he's not a dog. And then he says, I'm a dog. You are a dog, but in the wrong sense, because you didn't have the ability to even make the damn NBA. I mean, Twitter, man, I'm telling you, social networking is getting to the point, man, in every walk of conversation. It's just ridiculous. Like,
it is.
You got some of the dumbest people, man, and people follow these individuals. And this dude, he says, well, he's scared for the shot. Does he know that LeBron has made more game-winning shots than Kobe in the finals? Yes. Matter of fact, than anybody. Like, what do you mean? He's the all-time leading scorer in the history of the game. So how did he get all them damn points?
Not in the fourth quarter, apparently. Not in the last 2 minutes, apparently.
Man, come on, man. Like, he's scared?
Well, Eddie, I didn't want to say it, but you're not a dog, so.
No, I'm not a dog.
That's the equivalent, right? It's like somebody like me saying you're not a dog because you didn't win a championship or something like that, right? Like, come on now.
I'm a killer.
What are we doing here? That's wild.
Man, look, he's sitting up there with, he all buffed. I don't even know if he buffed. I mean, but he got a tight shirt on. He's sitting up there with a hat on. And he got the nerve, the unmitigated nerve to say somebody's not a dog. And this buster couldn't even play a minute in the NBA. And he was a top high school player.
To say that he borrowed traits from him, too. That's the thing that took me over. It's like, what? Yeah, of course he took some parts of my game.
And the host, like, encouraging him, like, yeah, I know you were a big point guard. And he was like, of course I was, but I was a dog. It's like, if LeBron was taking stuff from your game and he didn't have that dog in him, but you did, how is the gap that wide?
Here's the other crazy part. Here's the other crazy part. In one of the top AAU games that pitted LeBron against him, okay? And he was number one on the chart. Who do you think hit the game-winning three with 4 seconds left to beat him and catapult to number one?
LeBron. That's funny. We've all met people and played with people that absolutely think of themselves in like another strat. I used to play when I was in high school. There was this kid. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him on blast, but didn't play a lick of varsity basketball. Couldn't even get into a JV game. Couldn't even make the freshman team. But man, when we played in the summers, you'd have thought that he was like the next John Starks. Like he was just that. The Knicks were his favorite team, so it was just like that's all he would talk about. I'm like, bro, like you're not even playing. What are you talking? Yeah. Why are you talking so much junk and you can't even stop anybody? Just wild, man.
It's a combination of envy, jealousy, and all that. I remember when I made the league. And I would come back. I was still living on the west side of Chicago. And my second year in the league, I got a Mercedes, used Mercedes. And I drove it home. But, you know, I knew a lot of the police in the neighborhood. So I would half park my car halfway onto the sidewalk, right? Which is illegal, but they didn't bother me. But anyway, it was. And I remember coming out of the house and I ran into a friend of mine that was in the neighborhood. And he came up, yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? I was like, oh, I'm good. What's happening? And he looks at me and he says, well, remember I used to just bust you up? I was like, yeah. I said, a lot of people in the neighborhood used to bust me up. He said, yeah, I know. I heard you not making that much money, though. You going to be in the league long? I heard you not making that much. And here this dude is wearing some damn Converses falling off his feet. And I'm just looking at him. I said, okay, yeah, you used to beat me. I said, I'm not making a lot of money right now, but I'm in the NBA. I don't know what you mean by a lot of money because I feel damn pretty good, right? And I said, you know what else? I'm driving that damn Mercedes over there. What you driving?
These feet?
And I just looked at him and walked away. Like some people still have so much pain and envy and jealousy in their heart, and that's Lenny Cook, that he failed because he didn't climb the ladder the right way and had shortcomings in his career that cost him, that he can't let go.
Yeah.
And he just, some way that came out of his mouth. That host elicited him to say what he said, and it's just totally embarrassing.
Yeah.
LeBron's going to be a multi-billionaire. How can you say anything about him?
Yeah.
Need to be going trying to talk to him, say, LeBron, you know, you and I were 1-1, man. We were there. Can I have a job? That's what he should be saying. Instead of wearing that shirt that's 2 sizes too small.
Leo Jones with one final question before we get out of here. Saul, one burning question for Eddie. How does he feel about never making an All-Star game? Even get that off of there, Eric, once in his storied career. Thanks. I don't really care about the All-Star game, but what I will say is I am, and this is not because you sit next to me, but I feel like the totality of your career, not only in the sport, but also in broadcasting and everything that you've done, I am a little surprised that you are not in the Hall of Fame. You were in the top 70 all time in the NBA in scoring. And a majority of that was off the bench. Like, I'm a little surprised about that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look,
should we start a campaign?
I'll say this. One, I should have made All-Star games. 2 years I was averaging, really one Pacific year here in Phoenix, I was averaging 22 in 27 minutes. I will put that against anybody in the history of the game. In the history of the game, I put it against anybody. I was averaging 22, in 27 minutes, shooting near 50%. All right? Shooting near 50% and shooting 41 from 3. And Pat Riley wouldn't put me in talking about what does that say about starters if we put a bench guy in the All-Star game. So it's a number of times I should have made it. One year I was averaging 24 at the All-Star break and didn't get in. So it happens, you know, and so, yeah, I was just, you know, sometimes you just caught in that draft of negativity and you just can't get out of it. Now, after a couple of years, they start allowing 6 men to get in. I was always a year or two too late. But, you know, yeah, matter of fact, Saul, I was the 30th all-time leading scorer when I retired. So I put up the numbers, man. But, you know, and the way they're putting guys in the Hall of Fame now, please, anybody can fight for that. But I guarantee you, when I first retired, I had no idea, no thought that I would be a Hall of Famer because I view the Hall of Fame a lot differently than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
To me, how can you be in the Hall of Fame and Bill Russell's there? And you tell me, I'm a Hall of Famer, and you're next to Bill Russell's a Hall of Famer, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or Magic, or Bird. No. They should have 2 Hall of Fames then, because you're not a Hall of Famer compared to them 2.
Because the Hall of Fame should be for the elite.
For the elite.
Yes.
That's it.
I agree.
And right now it's watered down. And so you have a lot of guys that believe they should be in because it is watered down. Robert Horry had 7 titles. He running around saying, I should be in. And I'm not arguing with him because he's proven to be one of the best clutch winners at that time for finals that we've seen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But from a statistical standpoint, there's no way.
Right.
You can't average 7 points a game in the playoffs and think that you should be in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Like just by any stretch.
No. But when you're putting guys in there that average 13 points in their career and they're going into the Hall of Fame, then you can have an argument. And that's part of the issue. So, no, I'm not disappointed about it at all. It is what it is. I just know I did what I needed to do when I played, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And all that matters is that you guys joined us this morning. We appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day to catch this live. Michael Evans says, EJ again, I'm gone. Apparently he's not a fan of you.
Who said that now?
This is Michael Evans.
Who is he?
I don't know. I think maybe he's just not a fan.
Michael Evans?
You know what, though?
Good Time?
You know what, though? This is what I'll say is, hey, we're not going to please everybody. And not everybody likes me. Not everybody likes EJ. That's fine. But you did tune in, and that's all that matters.
Man, I like when people don't like me. That means there's one less person I have to speak to.
But thank you, Code, for showing up live. Everybody else, thank you so much. Hellos back in the chat, Ted Offensive. Thank you guys for taking the time this morning once again. You can follow my man on Twitter at JumpShot8. You can follow me at Saul_Bookman. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. Until next time, stay careful, stay cool, and we love y'all.
Later, Michael.